So Super Smash Brothers creator says Japanese devs should simply pursue what they love because overseas fans love Japan's unique style and its distinct charm, which
It
is true.
says Japanese. What was the headline? Let me read it again.
Uh,
Creator says Japanese devs should simply pursue what they love. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah, because we like the just it's manga and anime and Japanese games. We like them because of what they are, and they're getting a lot because they're so popular. They're getting
Oh,
the
like
usual.
pressure or like
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not from the again like what I keep saying like every week. It's not from the people who wants to give you money. It's from these idiots who cannot figure out why the shit that they're pushing is failing. It's like they
I
literally
hope they don't listen to them.
well some of them like all right so some of them were it's, all right it's weird how some of them are okay so the ones who have a American portion of their company, those are the ones who are
More likely to, yeah.
listen. So it's like Nintendo
Hmm.
America. Nintendo doesn't really listen that much, but they do a little bit here and there. But Nintendo of America is trying because they're in Seattle, so they're trying to push a lot of crap on them. And it's the same thing with
Oh,
Sony
okay.
in
Uh-huh.
America. So
Yeah.
for a while, Sony was being run, basically like the PlayStation stuff was being run from California, right? Not
Oh,
Japan.
okay. Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
they got a new Japanese CEO, and he like, no, we're gonna run everything from Japan from now on. So that's being cleaned up. So a lot of this stuff is being cleaned up, and so like with anime, their biggest problem though is the the localization people. So you got to remember the type of people who get into these types of jobs. All right,
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
they're not uber conservative types of people. They're
Yeah.
the green haired,
I
like
know where I could see where you're going with this. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So what happens is they reinterpret what they're doing in Japan. They reinterpret it for an American audience
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of themselves. They don't actually care about all the other people who are letting them know clearly that they do not want any of this stuff at all. Not even a little bit. And so what's happening with that is because of the AI translation and how you've seen how they can translate from whatever language to English, and the AI will use that person's voice so it sounds like they're speaking English.
English.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Oh, yeah, right. Uh-huh.
So we're going into the point where that little gatekeeper thing is starting to go bye-bye because they're realizing because they're just sending stuff to America, they're not really paying attention except for the point they're getting pushback. So imagine you put something out that people like, and all of a sudden you start getting this weird pushback. What they're telling you is like, why are you putting all this stuff in these things, right? And you're like, what are you talking about? We're not putting none of this. Like none of our stories are like this. And then you see, it's like, oh, like why are you like? And you probably figure out like, why the hell are you changing everything that we're saying into this other stuff that we're not actually saying? So
Yeah,
I'm happy.
that's a big point of contention.
Right, and I've heard from a couple of older same type is like older Japanese developers who are like what is up with all of this? They don't really get this because they're making games from their perspective and they're just letting it loose into the world, similar to how American developers used to do. And then they hired the green hair brigade who keeps telling them that no, you need to put all this stuff in the games and like no they don't because it's failing because people don't want to see this.
I know. I
Right.
hope Japan doesn't lose its charm.
Yeah. So in offering advice to his fellow Japanese video game devs regarding the future of the industry, esteemed Super Smash Brothers creator Mashiro Sukurai, said that wrong, says that rather
Masahiro
than
Sakurai.
Masahira Hiro Sakurai Says that rather than wasting their time appealing to specific overseas markets, their best bet for continued success is to embrace their country's unique culture and creative identities. Yes, which is why people like it in the first damn place. He offered his thoughts on the topic of Japanese video game development while speaking to a Japanese news outlet Intex during the recent 2025 edition of the country's annual Art Encouragement Prize ceremony and celebration. Wow, say that? That's a mouthful. A government-sponsored event organized by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technologies Award. Okay. The Minister of Education. Okay. See, this period, like this makes it look like this all one thing, but I think this is Minister of Education, pause, Culture, Sports, and Tech, Science and Technologies Award. Dude.
That's a crazy name for an organization.
Right. So like the grammar and like you got to separate. Okay. Data recognizes 11 artists from various mediums: drama, film, music, dance, literature, fine arts, broadcasting, popular entertainment, development of the arts, criticism, and media arts. Wow. Whose outstanding achievements have opened a new vistas in a given year. Honored at the event. Okay. Channel on creating games game channel where he spent years since the release of Super Ultimate Sora, providing the public his own personal insights into video game development. Sakudai took the beat following his win to answer a few in-text questions regarding the future of Japanese video game industry. Right, with the assertion that his host, the gaming market in China has been booming. Before being asked if he had, dude, do you have any thoughts on what direction the Japanese gaming industry should take in order to take period, like, in order to remain competitive against their East Asian neighbors? Sakudai opined, this is exactly my own idea. Like, this isn't exactly my own idea, but looking at the trends in the gaming industry, I strongly believe that Japanese creators should simply pursue what they love. There's been a time when American entertainment was hugely successful, and the people in Japan thought we should create something more Americanized. Yeah, that's before they hired all the blue-haired weirdos who screwed everything up. Dude, that's basically what happened. He continued per machine translator of in-text recap following provided by ChatGPT. Okay, that's interesting. There's definitely that kind of culture trying to align with the de facto standard. Products or standards have become widely accepted through market competition. However, I feel that overseas fans of Japanese games aren't necessarily looking for that. What they love is Japan's unique style and distinct charm. In other words, I believe that the ideal approach is for creators to make games that they truly want, and for those who appreciate them to enjoy them. To this end, when asked if he had any closing words of advice for those who hope one day to work in the industry, he declared, "The most important thing I want to say is do what you want freely." When I was creating my various shows on my YouTube channel, I always kept that in mind. Forcing my own views on others isn't a good approach. What I share is one way of thinking. It's not the absolute truth. As I mentioned in my video, my goal is to give people a boost so that they can find their own paths. What matters most is how individuals take that knowledge and apply it.
Preach it.
Yeah, and I hope that each person will push forward in the direction they believe and refine their work in their own way. But let's do our best together. You know, the whole saying of if you try to appeal to everybody, you will wind up appealing to nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.